Over 28 meetings already held in lead-up to SOM 1. NICTA using churches to roll out SIM registration. And Legal Training Institute graduates 64.
This is the National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Wednesday's news. This is the 5th day of minor meetings leading up to the first senior officials meeting for APEC member countries in March. Over 28 meetings have already been held in Port Moresby since they commenced on Saturday, the 24th of February. These meetings include discussions on disaster preparedness, counter-terrorism and e-commerce.
About 10 separate meetings were held today at the 4 different venues between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. today. At the Laguna Hotel, talks on life science innovations were discussed. Papua New Guinea Deputy Health Secretary Dr. Paisen Dakulala made the opening remarks in this forum. At the Stanley Hotel, participants in each working group continued discussions on human rights development in education and counter-terrorism in APEC member countries. Yesterday, the Electronic Commerce Steering Working Group discussed the benefits that come with online purchasing. ECSG Chair says much of the discussions focused on the confidentiality between a buyer and the supplier. The group is aiming to create a framework that will protect the exchange of information when customers engage in e-commerce.
PNG citizens should be able to benefit from greater trust in other countries and their laws protecting the information when it goes to that country. So, for example, if you buy from a merchant in Australia, Australian law will protect your personal information in Australia. What we're doing is also something broader than that in trying to encourage a common approach, a common standard in the region.
Recommendation from all these discussions will be brought forward to the first senior officials meeting from March 7th to March the 9th. Thaklagunga, National EMTV News.
The Counter-Terrorism Working Group concluded their discussions today at the APEC senior officials meeting. Combating terrorism is considered a hard threat and is a key priority for APEC member economies.
Terrorism poses a direct threat to APEC's vision of secure, open and prosperous economies. Cooperation and strategic partnership are frequently used terms at the Counter-Terrorism Working Group, which concluded discussions today. Participants from APEC member economies shared their experiences on the topic and formed a work plan for 2018, as well as a strategic work plan for 2018 to 2022.
There were a number of key issues that were discussed at this meeting, and mostly it was to seek endorsement for the working documents which underpin the work of this working group. For instance, we have agreed on the work plan for 2018, and we have also agreed on the strategic plan for 2018 to 2022, and we have also taken the opportunity to share information and experiences on our respective economies' approaches to countering terrorism.
The threat of terrorism is a global phenomenon, and PNG is not excluded from the threat of terrorism. But having said that, the measures that are taken domestically is done in consultation, in collaboration with the actions that are taken in the Asia Pacific region through the CTWG policy approaches, and in ensuring that our domestic security priorities in countering the threat of terrorism is done in a holistic and coordinated manner through the APEC CTWG subforum.
Leanne Jarari, National EMTV News.
As part of the greater discussion on human resource development, member economies specifically discussed education and the need to prioritize this sector. According to co-chair of the working group, heavy emphasis is placed on cross-border education, strengthening quality assurance and training of human capital.
Education is considered a pillar in society and a major priority for APEC member economies. For this reason, a working group gathered today to discuss challenges and shared experiences between APEC member economies. The two-day meeting, which started today, will see discussion around general education and higher education. Papua New Guinea has three main priorities to address at the meetings: cross-border education, strengthening quality assurance systems, and training of human capital.
In Papua New Guinea, we have our priority focusing on three areas. Number one is on cross-border education. That's when we are trying to engage with the member economies in the area of different aspects, such as in terms of scholarship or in terms of research. So there are different areas of cross-border education. And then the second area is on strengthening our quality assurance systems. We are looking at improving how our quality of our systems that can be comparable to international standards, so that our graduates will become marketable in the region. So, and the other priority is on training of our human capital.
Keeping with the theme of APEC 2018, the APEC Human Resources Development Working Group also discussed the impacts and benefits of the digital age on human capital development.
Given the fact that Papua New Guinea has a unique economic challenges, and in this forum, we will share our challenges to the advanced economy, so that we will find some common grounds in terms of strategies on how they can best assist us, and of course the other economies as well. So PNG will benefit immensely in this new theme of digital age, so that we support investment and trade in the 21st and 22nd century. So basically that's the theme and the discussion for now and tomorrow.
Leanne Jarari, National EMTV News.
Hanamua Organics, the proud producer of local virgin coconut oil from Abau in Central Province, hopes to expand their market opportunities during these APEC meetings. Representative Caro Martin said they are excited with the opportunity given to expose their products through the small and medium enterprise stalls being displayed during these meetings. The family business has recently processed their coconuts into cold-pressed organic virgin coconut oil and soap products. They have been producing virgin coconut oil, soap and body wash locally for customers in Port Moresby on a small scale, and now want to introduce their products to the world through APEC. Bottling the product is a problem due to the cost involved in importing unlidded bottles from Australia while purchasing lids elsewhere. Co-chair for the Committee of Trade and Investments, Julie Wapo, says she understands the struggle local SMEs are enduring. She added that APEC 2018 is the appropriate platform for bringing policies for discussions and for investors to see enormous potential among local businesses. The public service has been encouraged to work within their limits during this term of Parliament. This was the message on the first day of the 2018 National Leaders Summit. According to Chief Secretary to Government, Isaac Lupari, given current cash flow issues, the public service needs to be innovative in delivering services to the people. Regional members, government ministers and heads of government departments and state agencies gathered today for the start of the 2018 National Leaders Summit. The theme of this year's summit: accelerating implementation through teamwork. Participants were provided an overview of the economy from the Bank of PNG, BSP, World Bank, as well as updates on the extractive industry from Oktedi Mine, as well as from ExxonMobil PNG. Districts were also provided an opportunity to present on what they had achieved in the last 5 years from DSIP funding. According to Chief Secretary to Government, Isaac Lupari, given the tough economic situation that the country has been facing, the summit provides an opportunity for experiences to be shared.
It's very important that no individual or individual organization will be able to achieve anything at all. It's got to be worked through teamwork.
With revenue streams not at levels from a decade ago, Lupari called on the public service to tighten spending with an emphasis on prioritizing key projects so as not to waste limited funding.
The challenge to all of us, including the public servants, right from the local level government, district, to the province, to the national level, that if we can, despite the constraints that we have, the little we have, but if we can pull our energies together, we can achieve a mountain of things. The revenue is not the same as it was last 10 years ago. So it's about tightening up the belt. And that I mean that as head of department heads, we need to now take stock of our program. We may want to do 10 things, but when you are given a limited resource, what can you, putting in the right type of energy, the inspiration in there, motivating your staff with the 5 kina you can achieve, not 10 things, but maybe 5, 2, 3, and do it properly.
With the O'Neill-led government now looking to implement the second Alotau Accord, Lupari was adamant that the public service would be in a better position to implement key priorities within the next 5 years.
It's no time to rest our barrel. We've come this far in the last 5 years in the term. So much has been achieved, 95% of what they set out to do. And now we got Alotau too. So we should not rest. We need to be vigilant by working together, and we can do 100% achievement of the Alotau 2.
For much of the country, the district authorities are key in providing services, and the Chief Secretary is adamant more districts can learn from the experience of districts such as Bulolo in Morobe Province, who, with limited funding, have been able to achieve positive results by partnering with the private sector.
He had a very strong political leadership. That set the foundation for strong leadership in the public service, the community backup, the support that went in, all working as a team to bringing success and delivery of services to our folks. So I think it's fitting for the theme that we have, listening to those who have spoken in the morning. And I'm excited about the next lot of people who are going to be speaking.
Here with National EMTV News, we go for a break and we'll be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Today, the Legal Training Institute graduated 64 trainees in a span of 6 months with flying colors. Over half of the graduates received certificates of excellence and awards. This Friday, we'll see the trainees admitted to the bar at the National Courthouse to finally become permitted practicing lawyers.
The Legal Training Institute saw 64 trainees graduate today. This year was very different, as the trainees had to complete 24 courses and 7 modules in a span of 6 months. Chief Justice Sir Salamo Injia, in his keynote address, challenged the trainees to work in honesty and reminded them of what the law is.
He was confident. He gave me the right to discern for myself what is right and wrong, and to do what is right. As simple as that. That's the message I want to leave with you out. And you will not go wrong, I can guarantee.
Female student rep Belinda Pocky challenged her fellow graduates to have a good attitude, as it will determine their success in the workforce.
Our profession, our people, and the society as a whole, even towards our family and friends, is a vital part of our everyday life.
Frank Samui, one of the 7 Solomon Island graduates, was very emotional.
It's the end of the tunnel, and I'm so happy today. It's like a day for me and my family. My family is with me, and I'm so happy.
Mr. Pocky, whose daughter graduated today, shared how proud he was to see all the students finally completing the training.
They will become a generation of lawyers that will protect the integrity of the legal system and be good lawyers for this country. And we as parents, we are very proud.
Lilian Soperakinea, National EMTV News.
Georgina Wagluo-Tella from Wabeg was awarded the Rosalind Anakapu Award today at the 12th graduation of the Legal Training Institute. This award is given to female law trainees who have faced challenges and hardships but have beaten all odds to finish in excellence. Mrs. Tella, who has 8 kids, was quite emotional to finally complete her training to become a practicing lawyer.
It was a very hard struggle for me, but I think with my family support and especially my husband, was very supportive of me and my children. I was able to make it through, and I am so happy that the Legal Training Institute has recognized my journey, and they have awarded me with this prize from the Roslyn Anna Kapus Awards.
The University of Goroka has received a 25% increase in their budget this year from the national government. Pro-Chancellor Professor Musao Sinabare said this will enable them to give their academic staff salary increments. There are also plans to build a new administration block with this budget increase.
The University Council has in place plans to expand their facilities and improve the quality of teaching. According to the Pro-Chancellor Dr. Julian Kaman, the amount given is a bit more than what was received in previous years.
And so we're thankful to the government of the day for supporting us in this area where we need the money to be able to expand on our programs.
10 million kina has been allocated to building the university's new administration block.
This will house all the offices within the university.
With the need for quality teaching, Dr. Kaman says this budget will also assist in appointing quality academics. The budget increase has also enabled them to give their academic staff a pay rise.
With that budget, to be able to also raise the salary scale of our academics to the level of other universities.
According to Dr. Kaman, UOG staff have not been paid on the same salary scale as staff from other universities. This year, they will be getting increments.
I think they deserve it for over the years. They have worked humbly and committed to their profession. I think this is a reward for them.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News.
Some schools in Leh District have received assistance from stakeholders, companies and other private sector members. Most of these stakeholders are Leh-based companies such as Panamex, Islands Petroleum and now Motorist Discount Centre. Milford Haven Primary School in Leh, headed by the head teacher John Aguse, received merchandise from Motorist Discount Centre today. A gift bag containing student classroom sets and lunch packs were given to students and teachers. All students from the elementary level and the primary level received their gifts today. MDC has supported the school last year in purchasing colour fun run t-shirts for the students. They will continue to support schools in Leh. National disaster officers are in Tari to assess the scale of damage done following the earthquake on Monday. National Disaster Director Martin Mose and 2 other officers arrived this morning in Tari and met with local authorities. Mr. Mose says the scale of damage is severe and assessment will take a week or 2 to complete both Hela and Southern Highlands provinces. Most roads in Tari were torn apart from the quake. The number of casualties remain unknown, with people buried in landslips. Damage at the Tari courthouse was severe and it remains closed. Provincial authorities in Hela are calling on the national government for quick intervention as aftershocks have been occurring since Monday. With Wednesday's news, we'll be back with more after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. The Rotary Club of PNG has pledged to donate a mechanical apparatus known as the Jaws of Life to the Royal PNG Constabulary. This will help pull apart the wreckage of crashed vehicles in order to rescue or free victims trapped inside. Deputy Police Commissioner and Chief of Operations Jim Andrews said this will enhance police operability, especially when they are required to cut through twisted metal or concrete to free up victims. International Director for the Port Moresby Rotary Club, Ernest Lobega, said the equipment will arrive shortly in Port Moresby from Australia. Tutors at the University of Goroka are expected to have a grade point average of 3.5 and above in order to teach at the university. This according to Pro-Vice Chancellor Academic Teng Waninga. Mr. Waninga says this is to address the quality of teaching staff at the University of Goroka.
Having a grade point average of 3.5 and above is now a requirement for tutors applying to teach at the University of Goroka. Pro-Vice Chancellor Academic Teng Waninga says many students have enrolled with GPAs of 3 and above, hence tutors must have high GPAs to teach.
Because they will be teaching people of very smart and we've got high GPA, so TMT has decided that new tutors will have a GPA of 3.5 or above.
This is being done to address the quality of teaching staff at the institution.
That's something that our tutors will have to meet before they become tutors.
In addition to the new requirements for tutor recruitment, the university will also be recruiting teaching staff from Fiji and Malaysia. According to Mr. Waninga, this is to address and maintain quality.
Our specialist people, very well qualified professors, who are coming within our limited teaching positions to ensure that we address issues of quality.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News.
Lae-based port operator International Terminal Container Services Incorporated donated 2 brand new police vehicles to Lae's Police Sector Response Unit. The company also funded a new police post that will be constructed at Malahang in the Ahi local level government area. The stakeholders, including Ahi Hope Foundation, handed the keys of the vehicles to Police Minister Jalta Wong and Assistant Commissioner of Police Northern Region Peter Guinness in Lae this week.
This is the model of the new Malang police station, which will be constructed to replace this old building. The police station cost 400,000 kina. International Terminal Container Services Incorporation, or ITCSI, is funding this. ITCSI has also donated 2 new police vehicles, valued at 200,000 kina, to help attend to law and order issues in the Malang community.
To the people of Lae, you must expect more from us as we go forward in this long partnership together. Godspeed.
The ICTSI program is, they're the new port operators for the wharf. Part of their obligations as we negotiated with them was not only to come and run the wharf, but to help our community too. So they're partnered with us through the Ahi Hope Foundation, which is a vehicle mechanism they'll use to put in any development projects for the impacted areas like the Ahi people, the wharf people, the Labu people. So a community-oriented project, schools, law and order programs, women's programs, that sort of thing. So first and foremost, we need a good, stable law and order environment. That's why we insisted that they start assisting us with giving back to our law and order, which we have a huge problem with in Lae.
The member for Lae, John Rosso, has called on police officers to look after the vehicles when on duty. Rosso also told the community to take ownership of such privileges to help solve law and order issues in the area.
Our job is to make sure we look after it. The community here, you must look at him this way. You know, going inside, walking about inside. Something me blow walking blue you play. You know, blow me, but me can fix me at here. You play, look at him on something that we give to you. It's hard to find these things. Government over money lo buy all this something. Nupla car come here. Lae desperately needs 20 police cars. Where am I going to get those 20 police cars?
Police Minister Jalta Wong, who was also present at the event yesterday, commended the initiative ITCSI, Ahi Hope Foundation and Lae District have begun with community developments. The minister said the community will be engaged in managing the police station.
With this initiative now, the MOU has been signed by the Commissioner that they will use youth and people here, that grade 12 leavers around here to become reserve police, and they will be attached to this police station, and they can patrol the community. So you wouldn't be getting people from outside to patrol your community. It's your own people here and you know them. So when there's a crime, you don't have to go far. You just talk to them and they'll come, and at least will solve a lot of problems in the community. Community-based policing is probably the best initiative we have to sort out the settlement problems and the village problems and all that. We need policemen to be in touch with the people on the ground. If they're not in touch with the people on the ground, then how do we solve the crimes?
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
The head of PNG's Anglican Church, Archbishop Alan Miggy, has condemned recent sorcery-related killings in the country. Archbishop Miggy said there are other alternatives other than killing someone who has been accused of sorcery.
The Anglican Church's Most Reverend Archbishop Alan Miggy says killing is not the way to deal with suspects accused of sorcery. He said with PNG being called a Christian country, killing is morally wrong.
Taking somebody's life is not the only way to solve a problem, or it's not the only way to stop this kind of issues.
In late last year, 2 women were attacked on separate occasions by community members, accusing them of sorcery. One was rescued by police moments before being killed. A day later, the other was found dead in the Bumbu River. Early this year, 2 men were accused of practicing sorcery and were forced to move out from their properties. Reverend Miggy says one of the ways the church can help is through pastoral counseling. In addition, more awareness on the issue must be raised. Reverend Miggy says this must be done in partnership with the churches and the government.
And going through this kind of programs and counseling and workshops and all that, on all issues. So I think the church can help in here.
He says the safety of those accused of sorcery is important, hence there should be safe houses to protect them whilst police investigate the allegations made against them.
We can at least put something up so that for security they can come and be safe there while processes are done.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
7 churches in the southern region participated in a one-day workshop organized by NICTA. The workshop is the latest in a series of workshops held in the past weeks to engage churches in the registration of SIM cards in rural areas. The heads of Anglican Church, Evangelical Lutheran Church, the Catholic Church, the Salvation Army, United Church and Good News and Baptist Union of PNG attended the workshop.
The PNG Council of Churches will be using its rural network to assist telecommunication companies to roll out the SIM registration process before the 30th of April this year. This morning at Sarawak village in the Rigo district of Central Province, representatives of the 7 members of the Council of Churches from the southern region held the final regional workshop with NICTA representatives and telecommunication companies. NICTA's Business Relations and Licensing Manager Gibson Tito says churches have penetrated rural communities and using that network it will assist in a massive way to get the majority of the population registered.
We've been running around and observing the situation on the ground, and we noticed that if the SIM cards get cut off today, there will be some massive implication or some social unrest.
He said the deadline for the SIM registration is set by the government through the Ministry of Communication and not by NICTA.
SIM regulation does not only apply to PNG, or it's just an overnight thing that we came up with.
The workshop for other regions of New Guinea Islands, Highlands and Momase have already been conducted. The Council of Churches General Secretary Reverend Roger Joseph says the workshop has brought church leaders together for the first time to participate in national development.
Mainland churches alone, we have a total population out of 8 million, we have a total population of 6.3 million Christians under the mainland churches. And this 6.3 million, if we hook them up, if we engage them with the SIM card registration exercise, we can be able to reach the deadline.
Reverend Joseph says many people in the rural areas do not have identification cards or know their date of birth, and pastors will be used as reputable persons in the SIM registration process.
To the church pastors, you know why we are running this regional workshop? This is basically for the bishops, the heads of the churches in the regions. And this information is supposed to be disseminated from the regions down to the provinces. But due to time factor, we are taking all those together.
Digicel's Regional General Manager for New Guinea Islands, Reynard Conradi, thanked the church's partnership in this process. Digicel workers will be on the ground soon in all provinces to train pastors to roll out SIM registration process. Each pastor will be paid 2 kina for every person they register. Stacey Yallo, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the Council of Churches from the 7 main denominations in the southern region paid their respects to the lives lost in the earthquake in Hell and Southern Highlands provinces. A moment of silence was given with a prayer of comfort for those affected. Bishop Danny Bray of the Anglican Church took the opportunity to pray for victims of the earthquake and also urged the national government to provide a quick relief response. Yo, with National EMTV News, we go for a break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with Rugby League, and the PNG Rugby League 9's team finished off the Commonwealth Championships tournament campaign in last place. They entered the competition as defending champions but failed to retain the title.
Australia played host to the Commonwealth Championships, an international Rugby League 9's exhibition tournament, as a lead-up to the 2018 Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast. The PNG 9's team entered the competition as gold medal defenders. They were placed in Pool B with England, Tonga and Samoa. They unfortunately lost all their matches at the tournament. Australia claimed gold after beating Tonga 14 points to 8. The PNG 9's team was selected a week before the start of the competition. The squad was picked from the PNG Super 9's competition in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province. The 15-man side was led by Gulf Isau's coach Colin Genolama. PNG will now look to the next Commonwealth Rugby League 9's championships to have another opportunity of winning gold again. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
The Australian Commonwealth Games trials are currently underway on the Gold Coast, where some of Australia's top swimmers have come together to compete. While the aim of the event is to select their top 50 swimmers for the Commonwealth Games, the selection committee will use a new structure of selection similar to the one used by the Americans.
Vale Swimming Club, who have come down this morning.
With 50 sports up for grabs for the Commonwealth Games, all eyes will be on Rio Olympic gold medalist Kyle Chalmers, Mac Houghton and Ken McAvoy. But swimming legend and former Australian Olympic champion Ian Thorpe, who will be commentating at the Games, says the athlete to watch out for is 17-year-old Elijah Winnington.
Well, you mentioned some of those big names. So up today we have Emily Seabob, Emma McKeon, also the guys in the 200 metres freestyle. And the interesting one from that, everyone's usually heard of Cam McAvoy, who's one of our best sprinters that we've produced. But one of his training compatriots is been swimming a little bit faster than him. He's only 17 years of age and he's beaten him twice in the lead up to this competition, and we'll be looking for his first Commonwealth Games selection. Yeah. His name's Elijah Winnington, by the way.
More than 100 swimmers are expected to compete, all vying for spots in both the individual medleys and relay events.
I try and be calm, but when the whistle goes and the gun's about to go off, I actually get a little bit nervous still. So it's kind of it's nice to kind of be in that transition where you can still remember it, but I think that's going to go pretty quickly.
Ian says a new style of selection will be used to select the final team, an American system of selection. He says the event is also a lead-up for the swimmers, not just for the Commonwealth Games, but also for the 2020 Olympic Games.
Yeah, so we've had a complete switch, but with that we've also got that the selectors of the team have some discretion in who they'll pick. So this system actually favours people who do the shorter distances, so more the sprint events, and that they can re-get up in a month's time. But someone like Mac Houghton, who's more of a distance swimmer, he may struggle a little bit in the 200, but as long as he swims, kind of top 6 in there, he'll still be selected and be able to have the relay swim.
Meanwhile, PNG swimmers Ryan Meskillen, Sam Segis and Ashley Sito, who are also attending a swimming event in Australia, will join the rest of the PNG swimmers at this year's Theodist National Swimming Championships. The event will take place from the 16th to the 18th March. The 3 swimmers will use this event as part of their preparations in the lead-up to the Commonwealth Games. Gold Coast Commonwealth Games will take place from the 4th to the 15th of April. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
To cricket now, and the Hebo PNG Barramundis arrived in Zimbabwe over the weekend and took on their first warm-up match against Scotland on Monday. Unfortunately, they went down fighting in a 7-wicket defeat. Despite the defeat, the Barramundis now look to their first World Cup qualifier match against the United Arab Emirates in Pool A this Sunday. The Barras may not have always started their campaign strongly, but they can put up a fight when it matters, as proven by the strong finish in the ICC World Cricket League Championship last year. The onus now lies on the shoulders of the likes of skipper Asad Valla to lead his team through this campaign as he did last year. And we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Continuing with cricket, Mitchell Santner has done it again, saving the Black Caps from an embarrassing total in the second one-day against England. The hosts have limped through to 223 all-out after an innings that had 4 run-outs.
Tim Southee losing the toss seemed to set the tone for the Black Caps. Colin Munro continued on where he left off in Hamilton with an almost identical dismissal.
Yes, indeedy. It's another loose one.
That brought Mark Chapman to the crease earlier than he'd have hoped, but he couldn't get going either.
Oh, his chances, and it's gone high, Stokes going back, takes
The
it.
Black Caps found themselves at 9 for 2 and in trouble early. Martin Guptill providing the resistance.
Gets it, finally gets one through that gap.
But as Guptill found his rhythm, Ross Taylor found the fielder. Unable to repeat his heroics from Hamilton.
He's walked off, Ross Taylor. It's wonderful stuff from David Willey.
Guptill dug in and went past 50, one of the only ones to show any real promise with the bat, but he couldn't add to it. And when he departed, Henry Nichols soon followed, and the Black Caps were in all sorts of trouble.
Oh, the fielding continues.
Tom Latham and Colin de Grandhomme had to stay in to get them through to a defendable total, but when Latham fell for 22, de Grandhomme looked to rebuild with Mitchell Santner, but increasing the run rate soon cost him.
Quick, and he's going to be short. I think Bairstow's got the final say.
Santner and Tim Southee clearly didn't learn anything as the skipper became the Black Caps' third run out of the innings. A maiden one-day 50 from Santner provided some fight back. Trent Bolt making the early breakthrough for the Black Caps, England currently 15 for 1.
Kiwi golfing great Michael Campbell last played the New Zealand Open in 2011, but the major winner is back this week as he eyes a return to golf. The former champ is plotting a path back to the professional ranks.
Michael Campbell's back on a golf course, but unfortunately for the New Zealand Golf Open, it won't be for long.
Bit of a problem with my ankle, left ankle, so I can't play, but I'm here.
It's not often you see Campbell here in New Zealand. He now lives in Spain, where he runs a golf academy with his family.
I miss playing, I miss competing. That's one thing I missed over the last 4 years.
And now he's eyeing a return on the senior tour next year, using a couple of European events to warm up.
That's one thing I wanted to do, was just to play a few events this year and get the juices going, competitive juices going a little bit, and just see how I go for next year.
Campbell got the juices going this morning, driving around with WRC driver Hayden Paddon, just one of the celebrities set to play in the Pro-Am. And from the race course to the golf course, he got back into the swing of things with good friend KJ Choi.
We had a little nearest pin contest, and Michael, complained that he didn't have his glove, he didn't have his club, he didn't have his golf shoes. He just, started to complain, that he wasn't ready.
Didn't count because it wasn't my clubs.
Choi headlines a strong international field this week, with over 50 players from the Asian and Japanese tour competing. The South Korean isn't considered one of the favourites, but the former New Zealand Open winner thinks maybe he should.
He's got a chance this week.
Just how much of a chance, we'll find out when the event tees off tomorrow.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. We go for a break. When we come back, there were the details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Fine weather expected in Alota, a shower or two across the region in the other centres. To the Momasa region, showers expected in Lae and Wau, thundery showers for Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, rain and thunderstorms expected in Lorengau, as well as in Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka, rain and showers for Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, showers expected all across the region in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabek.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday, the 28th of February 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.